Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the New Music Alliance Radio Hour. And I'm here. I'm David Sokol, and I'm here with Mark Sherry and Mistress Miriam. And we're doing our pairing show. This is our 74th show overall. This is our 8th pairing show. The last pairing you heard was NRBQ. Howard Johnson's Got His Hojo Working. And the last track we played was Write Me a Letter. So we paired up Scott Hall.
And as we should probably remind anyone who's just tuned in that our pairing show, the whole theme of it is to pair a local Western New England artist with a nationally known artist's song, so one song by each. And hopefully those songs sort of have similar feel, similar they just generate the same kind of feeling in you. And if you like the national artist, we're hoping that you're going to like the local artist song as much or even more.
We started the set with a pairing that paired up Peter Lehndorff, a song called Long Meadow. And we opened the set with John Prine, the great John Prine from his last album, The Tree of Forgiveness, and a track called Knocking on Your Screen Door.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Just great song. Just boom, right into the pocket. And of course, we unfortunately lost him this year during the pandemic. But yes, this was his last album. I love his whole career, but I really loved his later career, the sound of his voice. This is just a delicious sound to me.
His songwriting is just as strong then as it was at any time in his career, too.
Yeah, he went wire to wire, from that very first album to The Tree of Forgiveness. It was really remarkable. You could listen to any John Prine album and find a bunch of gems. It's quite an amazing legacy that he left us.
And that's a really fun song. Speaking of song that we paired it with, which is even more fun.
Even funner. Peter Lehndorff and East Longmeadow. You don't get more local a title than that.
Right.
Actually, he lives in Hamden, Massachusetts.
Sitting right on the Connecticut-Massachusetts border. Yeah.
Right there. So he's local, and he's been around for a long time. And this is what he says: I write songs about everyday stuff. Some are humorous, some are serious. They are my observations about stuff that happens to us. This is definitely observation of what happens to us. Your kind of everyday life here in the Valley in East Longmeadow. Very funny song, and like a story song, and in its own Western Massachusetts way, it has like a little Americana singer-songwriter quality about it.
Yeah, and David, so that the second pairing we did, I'm curious, the song by Scott Hall, Write Me a Letter. You found that pairing and you found Scott Hall. Well, I had not heard of Scott Hall before. And I noticed that there isn't much material out there that he's put out. So what's the story with Scott?
Well, he's played with a bunch of people out here. This album that he recorded that just came out a little earlier this year, it's called Scott Hall Tries Technology. And he has surrounded himself with some amazing musicians, including Brian Marchese, who plays drums on Write Me a Letter. He also works with, on this album, F. Alex Johnson and Jim Weeks and Stephen DeSaulniers, who we're going to hear a song from later in the show. He's just a real, he's a great songwriter, fun. And that song, to me has the same upbeat vibe as a lot of NRBQ stuff. So it worked really well for me with Howard Johnson's Got His Hojo Working that came out in 1972 on NRBQ's Scraps album, one of the great early NRBQ albums. But Scott Hall, NRBQ, just a really good, upbeat, fun vibe. And they seem to pair well, I thought.
So our last block, we have two pairings, and we've got a song by Lyle Lovett called Bears, and that's paired with a song by Stephen Kellogg called Lost and Found. And after that, we have Creedence Clearwater, Who'll Stop the Rain, and as you mentioned earlier, a song by Stephen DeSaulniers, Circle Tree. And let's start this block out with the song by Lyle Lovett, Bears.